Right, this is a road test for a Honda CR-V. This is a 2-litre executive manual even. Car's registered BT07FWS. And the mileage at the start of this brief road test is 55,942 miles. Reason we do the road tests is basically we're selling to customers now from all over the near continent and the extremes of the UK, and we just want people to see the cars in operation prior to coming to see us. So hopefully it'll give you the confidence to come, but also gives me opportunity to let you know if there's any issues which I need to let you know about prior to you coming. Worth pointing out, I also do the road tests on exactly the same roads and probable route that you'll go on yourself on road test should you be interested in buying the car. So obviously clearly it should be representative of what you'll feel yourself, so just get yourself comfortable in the seat there. I also try and do the road tests in much the same sequence of events or order that you'll do yourself. So with that in mind, I always start with the engines. Obviously it's a Honda 2-litre VTEC engine, cam chain driven, so there's no belts to change on them. A wonderful reputation for longevity and reliability. We hardly ever have any issues with them over the many hundreds if not thousands we've sold now. This engine in particular, obviously very low mileage car, as it starts absolutely instantly. There's no warning lights on the dashboard, revs very cleanly, idles absolutely rock solid, very, very smooth and very quiet. In fact, hopefully come to stop now, you'll see that. So just about under the 1,000 on the tick over there, and there's no fluctuation. Clutch in, clutch out, stays exactly the same. That's more relevant obviously on the diesels with dual mass flywheels. Petrol's, just not plagued by the same issues. But a great engine, really lovely example of one as well. It's this is a strange car in a way. It's 2007, so it's one of the very, very last made of this type and shape before the newer version came out, but obviously benefits from all the updates that the 2005 and onwards model had. So it's got this kind of new style dashboard, revised mechanicals on the car for greater refinement, but the engine is superb. Engine then goes through clutch and gearbox. Clutch is silent in operation, got a lovely kind of weight about it. It's very smooth, very easy to operate, and then goes through to another brilliant Honda gearbox, 5-speed gearbox in this case. Very, very, very slick shifting, but it's got a nice weight and it's got a real sense of engineering about it is probably the best way to put it. It's not some sort of vague, lifeless kind of thing. It's actually got a kind of a meatiness, but without a heaviness. So they've kind of achieved something really, really good with the gearbox there. And I can't, as with the clutch, detect an ounce of wear in it at all. I really can't. Car tracks absolutely bullet straight. Steering itself, I can't, again, it's going to get repetitive and boring, this I'm afraid. I can't really detect it, any wear in it there either. Likewise, the suspension goes about its business absolutely as it should. There's no, you'll hear it going over bumps quite rightly. But what I'm not getting is any sense of any vagueness. There's no chattering from under the car, where you might have, a bush that's worn through, like on the anti-roll bar links. And then you can hear kind of metallic sort of clanking and banging going on underneath, or suspension struts are the same thing. Even Honda can't defy the laws of physics, so if one's been used for kind of heavy agricultural or maybe a bit of sort of semi-industrial work, then it might throw up, a few sort of wear-related issues, but there's nothing. It rides and drives absolutely beautifully. It really does. Likewise, as I drive, I'm listening out for kind of wind noises that shouldn't really be there. Where you might have a sort of a seal perished or damaged, and again, there are none. There's no noise there at all. Just gonna zip by this motorbike a second. But really great car to drive. What's hard to kind of get over on the videos is just how solid these cars are. It's a beautifully, beautifully made car. It really is. So I'm just going to give the brakes a sharp dab. I'm going to turn right in a second anyway, so it's a good time to do it. So yeah, it's a really nice solid brake pedal there. Nose dives down dead straight. It's not pulling right, left, or otherwise. So again, it's just the calipers in good order. So it's not sort of yanking it sort of in one direction or other. The CRVs use a very, very clever but very simple, actually, four-wheel drive system. Honda worked out very quickly with the CRV that, as with most cars of its type and ilk, it was going to be used primarily for this, just driving along a road. Once in a blue moon, it'll probably go off, a school fete or a village green, or maybe towing a caravan across sort of a slightly damp field, and that's kind of the limitations of its four-wheel drive and what would be required of it. So what it uses is what they refer to as intelligent four-wheel drive, and what that basically means is it does it for you. So at the moment, quite rightly, it's only in two-wheel drive, and that'll be front-wheel drive, which is the most efficient way of driving a car along. Only as and when it needs to go to four-wheel drive will it do so. So if you imagine if I pulled up on the grass verge there and there's a bit hefty on the clutch and throttle, it might spin the front wheels, and in that case you just feel grip. You feel suddenly it stops spinning its wheels, the rear wheel has come into operation, and it just pulls you through. It's a really, really clever way of doing it, because clearly what it does is it means you've not got permanent four-wheel drive, so you're not got four-wheel drives being permanently driven. So by definition, you've got less mechanical wear on the car. You clearly limit or minimise fuel losses on the vehicle, and also tyre wear. I mean, the difference between these and some permanent four-wheel drives is particularly marked. It really is. And we've sold so many of them, and we've never, ever, ever had an issue with the four-wheel drive system of the car. Nothing at all. It's a very, very, very reliable system. Coming to the interior of the car itself, as I said, beautifully made. There's not a hint of a trim buzz or creak or anything in the vehicle. They're beautifully assembled vehicles. Obviously an executive model, so you've got this nice big high up sat-nav system, which is all fully functional, as you can see working there. As I said, they are beautifully made. All the controls, climate control system, the buttons down here, all fully functional. Just above those, we've got this cool box. Put my hand in there. You've got absolutely ice cold air going into there. So on a steamy hot summer's day, then you don't have as your horrible molten Mars bar. You have something that's still nice and edible, and that all works perfectly. So obviously air conditioning is in fine fettle. Coming across to the dashboard, on these later versions, you've got this slightly sort of snazzier look to them. Everything's reading out exactly as it should. Temperature gauge is a third of the way up, which is exactly where you want to see it on any Honda car, petrol, diesel, or otherwise. But the gauges are very simple to take the information in, and very, very high quality indeed. Cruise control, I'm just going to set it and check it now. So I've set it. I'm just going to accelerate by pressing the button. It works perfectly. And slow it down, and works absolutely as it should. It's a really lovely car. I mean, to be perfectly honest, its natural competitors clearly will be things like whatever the VW Touareg, whatever they call it, BMW X3 possibly, Toyota RAV4 and Nissan X-Trail will be its obvious competitors. The X3, as you've seen in my previous videos, you'll know what I think of them. They're horrendously unreliable at this kind of age. All sorts of issues, same as with the Volkswagen actually. They drive really nicely, so I'm not going to pretend they don't. They've got lovely engines, but they are very, very problematic, especially on the electrical side. The VW on electrical and mechanical side actually. The biggest problem with the X3 from my point of view, setting aside all its reliability issues, is the fact that unless it's billiard smooth surface, it's horrendously uncomfortable to drive. The X-Trail and the Toyota are different actually. The X-Trail I think is one of the nicest drives of the lot. I think they're fantastic cars to drive. unfortunately they do have quite a lot of reliability issues over at this kind of age, where that kind of leaves the Toyota RAV4, which is a build quality and reliability wise very hard to separate it from the Honda. They're both by a country mile the most reliable cars in their class. Even at this age, they're far more reliable than the other two. Probably the biggest difference between this and the Toyota is the Toyota's just is a much tighter fit in the back, and a smaller boot, not as practical as a Honda, probably not quite as well finished as a Honda either. It's a slightly blander vehicle inside, but a nice drive, very nice drive. You know, in terms of service out of the vehicles, you couldn't really fault or find a difference between the two. But I just think the Honda is just that fraction more comfortable. As I said, slightly bigger, more capacious. But it's just a really, really fine car. So the whole point of this road test, as brief as it is really just to give you kind of any feedback on anything. I can't find anything on the car. I've just tried the windscreen wipers because it's a pet hate of mine if they smear, and they're good as well. So yeah, no, it drives beautifully. If there's anything I've missed out on the video, please don't hesitate. Do give us a call. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you might have about the car. But based on what I've driven and feel I've had loads of them, so don't think I jump in CRVs the whole time. So if there's something wrong, I would pick up on it straight away. But yeah, do give us a call, and we'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.